transferable belief system. TBS, transferable belief system.
Because if they believe in it, they're more likely to buy it.
If they believe in it, they're more actually to take advantage of what you're offering them, right? That's right. So this is huge. This transferable belief system, because one of the things MasterTech has done is created a culture, has created a way to go to business, a reason they go to market. And it has to do with this transferable belief system. They believe very strongly that you guys do awesome jobs, that you're master technicians, and that when you go to a customer's house, you're going to give them world-class service. And that's what MasterTech was founded off of. That's what Russ talks about all the time. That was one of the reasons he brought me into the company years ago. He said, we have to create and continue to build a culture of world-class service. And so that's got to be a part of what you do. Not just, I got a job, I show up every day, but there's a reason why this company exists. There's a reason why it is the #1 plumbing and heating and air conditioning company in Columbia, Missouri. There's a reason why you guys make the money that you do, and guys that do your exact same jobs are making half. And they're mad, and they're frustrated, and they're upset all the time. And they're like, how can you guys get away with that? You're like, because we believe in what we do, and we do it in a certain way that provides a level of service to the customer that they're willing to pay for. So this transferable belief system is huge. And so it's just figuring out who you are and owning that. That is kind of the modern vernacular, own your stuff. Well, that's what a transferable belief system is. The things you're taught, the things you're coached on, the things you do in the field, you got to own that and make that a part of who you are. Because it will completely revolutionize your own business. And you have an opportunity, you got your own truck out there. Jerry's looking at the calls, we're looking at dollars per call, sold minutes, all that stuff's all tracked. But essentially, when you go out there, you represent a company, but you have an opportunity to build yourself a life if you choose to do that. And I know it's true because I know a lot of guys sitting in here, I hired them. And I know where they were, and I know where they are now. I'm like, holy mackerel. Those guys got a life. And they got opportunities, and they got options that they didn't have before. So this transferable belief system is incredibly important. So that's part of what being at MasterTech is and being a master technician. And one of the first things I would talk about and train on, and I'd ask a guy, and we would try to get the mindset to change, was this. Do you see yourself as a technician? Do you see yourself as a plumber or as a mechanic? Or do you see yourself as a professional service technician? Do you approach your life and your business differently than the guy across town making half what you do? Do you get up every day and shave and clean up? Do you make sure you got your hair cut? Do you come to work with a clean uniform on? Is your truck washed and scrubbed and ready to go? Is all the trash and the junk out of the front cab so that when you pull up to a customer's house, you don't have monster drink bottles falling onto the floor and McDonald's wrappers blowing across your front yard and all that sort of stuff? Do you show up ready to go to work? Do you look like a professional service technician? Do you knock on the door instead of ring the doorbell? Do you greet the customer and put the booties on? Are you doing the things that makes a professional service technician, not just a mechanic, not just a plumber, not just a guy that fixes things, but a guy who's an expert, who's excellent at what he does, who wants to provide a service that many people cannot. There's a reason why they call us. You guys take it for granted. What you guys do is very hard. It takes a lot of skill. It takes thousands of dollars worth of tools and equipment. And not everybody has the capacity to do that. And you guys do. So you provide a tremendous service to the community. You provide a tremendous service to your family. And so own that. A professional service technician. You didn't just get hired to be a plumber. You didn't just get hired to be an HVAC guy. You didn't get hired to be a digger or smell sewers. You got hired to be a professional and be the best at what you do, to be a master technician. And so own that part of it. And so that's what a transferable belief system is. And so when you begin to understand that, then when we start talking about the specifics of coaching and how you make a presentation and how you go to market, then that becomes very, very easy. And you see your value in who you are. So you realize the value of what you're charging the customer. It completely changes the way you see things, doesn't it, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely does. But it's hard to get there, isn't it?
It took me a while.
It takes a while. But what happens once you get it?
It's like easy.
You own that stuff, don't you? You're willing to fight over it. Like, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is why we do it. Right? It makes it a lot more fun, doesn't it? The next kind of part of that is this. Inform, educate, and offer. Have we ever talked about that before? Inform, educate, offer. What that probably translates to in this environment is offer options. You've heard that before. Offer options. Okay, well, let's talk about this. So we've got a transferable belief system. The next kind of layer to that is inform, educate, and offer. Now, why is this important? How many of you guys like to be sold something? Nobody does. The American public does not like to be sold anything. But we will spend money and we'll buy everything we possibly can. We love to buy stuff. Love to buy stuff. But hate to be sold. You don't want to go through a transaction. It's like you got to go home and take a shower afterwards. You just don't want that feeling. But you do want to come out of there going, man, I went there looking for something. Somebody gave me some information and educated me on what I was looking for. I had a choice of what would solve my issue. I made the choice I wanted. I paid my money for it. I felt like I got a great service. I felt like I knew exactly what I was doing. I made a good purchase, and they feel comfortable, confident about it, and they go home and they tell everybody about it. Right? That's what inform, educate, and offer is. And this is just part of the transferable belief system. Part of inform, educate, offer is this whole culture of MasterTech is there's a process to this. There's a reason why we do what we do here. And that is when you go out on the job, ask the questions. You guys still have the questions on the iPad?
Pre-service questionnaire.
Pre-service questionnaire, is that what it's called now? Okay. So you got some questions. Because the customer doesn't always know what they've got going on in their house, or they don't realize that that could be fixed or solved. They don't know all the solutions you guys have to offer. They think you're just plumbers. They think you're just HVAC guys. But they have no idea that you're professional service technicians that know a tremendous amount about what you can do to actually improve their life. And so the inform, educate, offers do the system. Ask the questions. Diagnose the entire problem. When you go to the house, the faucet's dripping, what's one of the tests that we do?
Pressure test.
Pressure test. Why?
Water quality.
Okay, so you do water quality. Why do we test water pressure?
If things are leaking or breaking, there's a possibility that it could be other things that are going on in the house.
That's exactly right. What's the PSI regulation? What's it supposed to be around here? What's the code?
45 to 75.
45 to 75, right? What are the faucets rated at?
About 70 to 75.
About 70, 75. What's some pressures you guys see every day here in Boone County?
110,
Yeah,
112.
110, 112, yeah, 125, yeah. Twice what it's supposed to be. Is that important for them to know? That's diagnosing the whole system. How about you guys go out on a call? It's hot today. You guys are going to get some calls. It's going to be busy. Do you just go, yep, capacitor's broken, slap a capacitor on, give me $350 and walk out the door? No. What caused that to break? You hadn't been out there in 7 years, it's a brand new customer, but it looks like they got a dead cat stuck to the side of the condenser. You got talking about that thing needs to breathe a little bit. You need to get all that gunk off of there. You go in and you look at their blower motor. You're like, I need to go downstairs and look at your blower. Why? It's my air conditioner's outside. They don't even understand that there's three components to their system here. An outside unit, an inside air handler remover, or there's a furnace air handler, and a coil. And they don't understand that. The average, they just don't know. So you got to educate them. And so you get talking about those things. So it's going through the entire process. We want to ask the questions. We want to diagnose the whole system. And then we just simply want to offer them the solutions to their overall problem. Okay? Does that make sense? That's very fundamental stuff. But the reason I want to talk about it today is I go out and my job is to call on customers just like you to help them grow their HVAC business. And the guys in Texas are no different than the guys in Missouri. Dallas is a huge market. There's 8 million people there. There's like 5,000 HVAC customers that we've got on our books. It's the same thing everywhere. We do business with about 400 of them that pay the bills. And then there's 4,500 of them that are just kind of out there and they'll buy a piece or a part here every once in a while, and there's a huge market. There's stuff everywhere. But the guys that are doing business are just like the guys in Missouri. They want to grow their business. I want to make more money. But they have no idea how to do it. They're just going to do the same thing over and over and over and over. They're going to get a different result. It doesn't happen. And so I have to have these same conversations. And they don't have the opportunity that you guys did to learn it. And to sit through some good coaching and some good teaching and practice and practice and practice until you get it. And own it. They've got their entire business on the line. Their whole livelihood, their wife, their kids, their future, all tied up in a brand new truck that they just bought. And they don't understand why they're in business. They still think they're a mechanic. They don't understand that they need to talk about more than just a capacitor. They don't understand this. And so this is why I get so passionate about this. This changes people's lives. If you own this, it changes your life, either as a technician or as a business owner. And so Inform, Educate, Offer, do the whole process. Ask the questions. Take the time. Diagnose the entire system, whether it's a water problem or it's an electrical problem, whatever it is. Do that whole thing, and then offer the options, because people hate to be sold, but they want some context of what they're getting. They were not expecting a $3,000 slap in the face. They thought it was going to be $200. But by the time you explain everything to them and you go through the whole range of their entire system and what you can do to help solve their overall problem, then all of a sudden that check does not look that bad. It doesn't look that expensive. Okay? So transferable belief system, Inform, Educate, Offer, and then we've got to make it very specific. I mean, this is theoretical, essentially, but what does that look like in real life when you guys jump in the truck and hit the road? So let's talk about a couple of things. One of the things, and you guys remember Jimmy that used to work here? I had him right back here in this office one day. We did the bingo games. You get bingo, you get $100 or whatever. He just had a new baby, so guess what he needed? $100. Cash money, here you go. So one of the things on that list was jettings. You guys still do jettings? Yeah. You pay a lot more money to do a jetting than you do to clean out a drain, right? Right. So what's the story about jettings? When do we use a jetting? Why do we use a jetting? Does every customer need a jetting? No, they don't. But those specific ones that do really need it. It's those older houses that have the metal pipes that they rust on the inside. And it creates a higher coefficient of friction so that all the fats and the lipids and the solids begin to collect on that thing. And it comes out of the sink and goes horizontally, then it drops into the sewer, right? Well, that little bit of fall there, all of a sudden starts collecting that. Well, you might have a 4 or 5 or 6 foot clog of grease. Now, just putting your thing down there gets a little water flow, right? You can solve the problem. You can't solve the problem. You can fix a symptom. The water quits backing up, but what happens within 30 to 60 days of that? A lot of times. It clogs back up because we didn't solve the problem. So the jettings come through and they blast that whole thing out, right? So now you solve the problem. It costs about 2 or 3 times as much. You guys get paid 2 or 3 times as much, but guess what it does for the customer? They never have to see you again. Instead of seeing you every 3 to 4 months, clearing out the same drain and frustrating them all the time, you can do it one time. Clean that thing out for years, right? Jimmy knew that. We talked about it. We trained on it. Do you know how many jettings he had done the 365 days prior to us doing that game? Anybody want to take a wild guess?
0.
0. None. Now, you guys know with the Zip Solutions, I could go back and see exactly what options have been offered, right? And it is a mandatory keep your job, no questions asked. You've got to offer 3 options, right? Or it was. I don't know if it still is. But it was. And I would look. Yep, 3 options. Clear the drain and BioClean. Clear the drain, leave some BioClean, and blast that thing out with the jet, right? Every time. He put it on every time. He knew he had to keep his job. He had a transfer belief system that it's going to look, there's going to be 3 options on there. I'm going to keep my job. He believed he needed to keep his job. And he satisfied the bare minimum of offering options. But he did not inform or educate. He kept his job. He knew he could take $149 or $99 on sale, clear that drain out, jump in his truck, and leave within 15 minutes and go to the next job, right? All of a sudden, for $100, we have a game. He's got a new baby. He needs $100 cash. Within 2 days, the dude took $100 home. He went out within the next 2 days. He sold 3 or 4 jetties, and it was ridiculous.
That's all they offered.
Well, it's not.
You had 3 offers, Jetty.
But here's the great thing about this whole process. I get right back in this office. I sit him down. I wanted to get a fist fight with Jimmy going, and it was real easy. I lean back in my chair and go, "Congratulations, Jimmy. Here's your $100. Man, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Really needed that. I said, man, that's great. I'm so happy for you. Nice job." I said, "I just got one question for you." He's like, "All right, man, what?" I said, "Are you a thief or a liar?" You guys know Jimmy. He ain't either one of those. Well, he sat right up in that chair, and his eyes got this big. Fortunately, he's smaller than me. And I kind of had him in the corner, so I was like, if it comes bad, I'm kind of braced in my chair. Like, if he comes at me, I'm ready. He kind of set up, and so I set up. I said, "Are you a thief or a liar?" I used to didn't know what to say. He wanted to cuss at me and hit me and tell me all kinds of things. And I said, "Which is it?" I said, "Because let me show you something." I wheeled back, pulled up my computer. I said, "Jimmy, do you know how many jettings you've done in the last year?" I said, "That's right. He kind of slows down. I said, "Do you know how many you've done in the last 2 days?" 4. I said, "So you a liar or a thief?" He said, "Man, I'm neither, Ed." I said, "I don't think you are either, but tell me what changed." I said, "Did you go to everybody and tell them they need a jetting?" He goes, "No, because not everybody does." I said, "That's right. Who doesn't need a jetting?" He says, "The guy with PVC pipe who shoved too much spaghetti down there and got a big wad." This is the story we tell. We did this in training. He told me exactly what I've been training him for 1.5 years. He said, "You just punch it out, it goes down, there's no problem. $149, yeah, that's exactly right." I said, "Who needs the jetting?" He said, "The couple or the person who was in a house that was built at a certain time frame that has this metal pipe that has a certain fall to it, but it's more horizontal than it is vertical. And that clogs up. And all of a sudden I can do this, and I run that jetting through, and it solves it. I can give them a year warranty instead of 30-day warranty. I can do it for $350. I got 60 minutes worth of pay instead of 15. He says, so I just informed them, and I educated. He didn't use these words, but he informed them what their problem was. He educated them on what his options were, and then he just simply said, based on my experiences and based on your house, which one of these 3 makes the most sense to you? He says, they all said jetting. I said, isn't that amazing? They all said jetting. Would you just simply explain to them why they might want that? And you just offered it to them. You didn't tell them they had to have it. You said it was an option. And that option came with some better benefits, right? He said, yeah. So, inform, educate, offer. After that, I didn't have to put a $100 bill on the board to try to get Jimmy to sell jettings, because he realized he made 3 times as much money doing jettings for the right customer. Right? So, that's why this transferable belief system is important. It's huge. Inform, educate, offer. It's life-changing, but you got to own that. You got to understand why you do it. And it's not just to keep your job. It's not just because the culture is we offer options. The culture is you're a professional service technician. You know things nobody else in the marketplace knows. You know things your customers don't know. And so you have to share that with them. You have to educate them. You have to give them a chance to offer to buy it. You guys ever walk into a house, pull up to a driveway and go, oh my gosh, I'm killing Denise when I get back to the office. Why did she send me over here? What did I ever do to her? And you walk out there with a $2,000 check and about 300 minutes worth of work, and you just got paid by somebody you wouldn't even talk to on the street. Did that ever happen? Yeah, it happened to me one day. My job's a coach. Do not pre-qualify. Don't pre-qualify. I pulled up on a job one day. I was working with a technician. He had a big smile on his face. We bounced up to the door and said, oh gosh, come on, man. I got better things to do with my time. This house had nothing going for it. We fixed the faucet, put a new toilet in, fixed the shower, did some other work, he walked out with a $2,500 check. And I'm sitting there the whole time going, Ed, you are a dadgum fool. Because it's still true. My belief system was don't pre-qualify. But a part of me was saying, you still going to pre-qualify. But you can't do it. Because you never know who you're going to run into and what their needs are and what kind of shape they're in to be able to solve their problem. So we want to inform, we educate, offer. That's what we did on that day. He walked there with a big check, great minutes, customer was happy. They became a customer of MasterTech for life, right? Nobody ever talked to him that way because they all prejudged him. Someone just took the time to talk to him. They didn't say, I don't care if you got money or not. I'm going to tell you what your problems are. This is what you're dealing with. You got a drip over here, but you have these many problems. I can fix this drip, or I can solve all your problems. Which one do you want? Somebody finally talked to her the way she wanted to be talked to. She said, I want to fix it all. You can do that? Yes. For that money? Yes. Will you take a check? Yes. Okay, great. And she sat back down, the cat started walking around again, and we got to work. 2 story. Take it right over the street, right over there. So, firm educate offer. So what does that look like in your world? Guys, it's hay season. It got hot yesterday around here. It's going to get hot today. You're going to be busy. So what are the specifics? So you got some theory here, right? But what does that look like in reality? Well, you got a little bit of a picture there about Jimmy's story. There's a reality to Jennings. You don't own that. Understand that. So what is that in your world? What do you believe about tankless water heaters? What do you know about them? What do you believe about them? What do you think the customer wants? You got great financing options. And if you don't, come up with some. You got 0% for 24 months, 0% for 36 months, 0% for 48 months, 0% for 60 months. You guys got all kinds of options. So figure out what the customer wants. Don't be afraid of a $5,000 deal. They're not. They just want somebody to tell them about it. Give them an option to pay for it for $100 a month. You can do that all day long. So, what does it look like in HVAC world? As you guys talked about, I know we visited about it, you may already have it. It may be done. I may be done here. But have you talked about what does MasterTech fundamentally believe to be true about a complete system? Have you guys put that together yet?
We talked about it in a meeting. We didn't necessarily finalize anything.
Okay. So it's been talked about, but it hasn't been finalized. What do I mean by a complete system? For you HVAC techs and installers, if I asked you today, what do you fundamentally believe to be true about a complete system? What do you consider to be a complete system?
Humidifier,
Okay. Humidifier,
air filtration, air purification,
air purifier. Okay, what else?
as far as, like high efficient systems,
What's that?
high efficient system.
Okay, high efficient. What else? That's kind of it, right? So a complete system that you fundamentally believe to be true, that you're going to formally offer is basically a humidifier, air purifier, high efficient, but we got some core items, right? A condenser, either a heat pump or air conditioner, we got a furnace, and we got a coil, right? So we got some core items. I'm just going to try to get you guys' mind thinking about some stuff. Because I believe this is incredibly important. Because remember what I told you my problem was down in Dallas? 5,000 people, they're all trying to solve the same problems and none of them have any insight on how to do it. They don't understand. They're like, well, I want to grow. I need a new brand. I'm like, we got great brands, but that's not your problem. Okay? So we got some core items, some core. So figure out what your core things are. Okay? And maybe that's your core. But then what makes a complete system? And we went through, and I've got a whole list of them. We've talked about, we've been to the BDR trainings, we've done all that stuff. We've got a whole list of accessories. As I'm thinking about my business, training and coaching and developing with other contractors, I kind of don't like the word accessory. Because let me ask you, you're all men here, right? Except for one lady. When a lady, I'm going to put you on the spot, but not right now. I'll put these guys on the spot first. Guys, what do we think about accessories?
They're extras that you don't need.
They're extras you don't need.
Toys.
Toys? That's right. Extras you don't need. Accessories. Now, when a lady goes shopping for clothes, a man needs 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of shoes, and about 7 shirts, right?
All
You
the
need a
same
brown
shit.
pair of shoes and a brown belt, black shoes and a black belt. You need a couple of a dark pair of slacks and a light pair of slacks, and you need at least clean shirts, right? That's it. What accessories do we need? If we got out of bed, we're there, right? For a lady. If you don't mind me asking, how does the average lady maybe feel about accessories when shopping for an outfit?
They're needed, different shades, different, colors. Honestly, yeah, they're a necessity.
They're a necessity, right? Guys, we packed to come up to tech. I'm here for a wedding. Yeah, why are you going to call me up? I'm here for a wedding. Guess how many pairs of shoes I brought?
One pair.
And you're wearing them.
They look good though, don't they? That's right. They're boots, man. They go with everything. Man, I got starched jeans on. Look great. I also got a pair of slacks that goes with these boots. Great. And I got one belt. You guys got any idea how many pairs of shoes my wife brought? And she's not a shoe person. She's not a shoe person. And do you know how many she brought? 4. We're 3 days into our trip. You know how many she's worn?
4.
1! No, 2. She wore 2. Is it important? Yeah. You gotta have the scarf. You gotta have the earrings. You gotta have the bracelets. You gotta have the bag. They see accessories different. But in our world, we're all guys thinking we're talking about the same stuff. We cannot talk about accessories. Because I'm kind of with you. Accessories are things you don't need. You don't fundamentally need them. They make you look nicer. They solve some problems. But you don't need them. But if you begin to change your belief system about what the process looks like and what an entire system diagnosis would be, then all of a sudden you start looking at what do we fundamentally believe to be true about a complete system. And you can begin to talk differently. And you can begin to present that differently to the customer. Training was, we got a sheet, Joe, can I take this thing? Hey, here's our accessory list. I'll be working on your thing. Here, Chris, you just go ahead and you take that. If you see anything on there you want to buy, ask me some questions, I'll sell it to you, okay? In the meantime, I'll go look at your system. That's our presentation in the industry about accessories. We feel like we handed them a sheet, we did our job, right? Back to where Jimmy was. I believe I got to do it to keep my job. I'm going to hand them the sheet. They're not going to buy anything, and I'm going to go on down to the next call, right? But if we have an idea of what we feel a complete system is, then we can talk about that. Corey, why is a humidifier part of your core idea? Why do you believe in a humidifier?
It's the comfort of the home.
Comfort of the home, right? Why is it more comfortable? In the wintertime, why is it more comfortable?
Because it's not drying everything out. It's not allowing it to be dry. So you feel comfortable in your own home, and